Hey everyone, welcome to Michelle's Mystic Corner. So today we are going to be talking about where do runes come from. So before we jump into that, I am just going to discuss a few things with you guys. Let's see here. I actually did take some notes today. Um, Okay, all of my readings are still on sale, but they are now $69.99. You can get a reading, you can get a numerology report. All you have to do is get a hold of me at psychic.cafe/Michelle and go to the About Me, and I have pay links in there, or you can go to the little email inbox guy and message me, and we'll set up a time and a date and get that all set in there. Right? I love notes. Okay. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are not a subscriber. Hey, Dan, welcome in. Okay, so now we've got Dax and Dan in there. All right, we're getting there. Woohoo! Okay. Um, if you would like to donate to Michelle's Mystic Corner, you can um, go to psychic.cafe/Michelle and just go to one of those little pay links. That would be fantastic. Okay, and then I think that's all I have on that section so far. So let's see, what else was I going to discuss? Okay, I have been doing a poll on which cards to use, and we are at a tie. So I'm going to use the Pagan Tarot occasionally, but for the most part for this month, I am going to use the Cozy Witch Tarot deck. I really, really like this deck. So I've checked all the different platforms, and so far it's at a tie. But my other daughter, she just did a whole bunch of likes and then told me in person what she wanted. So we're going with this one. Let's see who just came in. Hey, Nilda, how are you? Welcome in. We are going to be talking about where do runes come from. I'm kind of excited about this topic because I grew up believing that I was German, Italian, Indian, part Spanish. I had a Spanish grandmother, great grandmother. Let's see, and a few other things. Okay. So I did that ancestry test, and it turns out that I am definitely still half Italian. Yeah, I'm never getting away from that, and I don't want to. I love the fact that I'm Italian because Italians are awesome and we cook great. Well, more so Dan than me because I I just cook whatever is there. Um, okay, so what else? Okay, here it goes. I'm still German, but I'm not German. I'm Germanic European. There is a difference because Germanic European is actually Nordic. That's where the runes come from. So I was born for the runes. How is that for awesome? So that's why this episode is kind of special for me because I love runes and I'm Germanic European, so I'm Nordic, and I love that. I love that. It is fantastic. Yeah, Dax is Italian too. Italians in the house. Woohoo! Yes, gotta love that flag and the pizza. I'm making myself hungry. Okay. Homemade pizza for dinner tonight. Yes. So let's talk about runes. I have runes. I made some runes. I gave them to Dan. They're way over there. I'm not going to pull them out. I made them yesterday. They're so easy to make. I have this set of runes. This is a resin. And it's just a rectangular resin. Okay. And it comes in a nice little orange bag. And then I have my purple bag. Right, right. Oh, it's next. Okay, Miss Nilda. Next Saturday, we are going to be doing the basic of runes. Today, we're talking about where runes come from, what they are, and then next week, we're going to talk about the basics of them. So, yes, you are going to learn some. Okay, this is my amethyst set. Oh my God. Dan bought this for me years ago. So, here's the back of it. Here's the front of it. This is J-Raw. Okay. Now, I do have a rune set of cards. They're over there. I'm not going to pull those out. What I am going to pull out, though, is everybody in the guild and on the cafe knows that I created my own pretty set of tarot. I'm sorry, runes, rune cards, right? However, what nobody knows is that I made another set. I'm just excited. I'm tickled pink. Okay, so this set is bigger. I do have to get different cardstock because as you can see, this cardstock is not fun. See what I mean? So, but on this card, I have like 3 to 4 different meanings, and I'll have the letter because these are not just for divination, right? Runes are also an alphabet for people that don't know that. Um, it was a picture graph. I know there's another word for it, but that's what it is. It's a picture graph. So we're gonna get into this, and I have some paperwork here. Okay, because I cannot always remember stuff. So we're gonna go with okay, the earliest known rune alphabet is the Elder Futhark. Now that's the rune set that I use. I like the Elder Futhark. Okay. And as you can see, this is the Elder Futhark. It's pretty simple. It's one of the oldest. And they have different rune sets. Like there's the younger Futhark. There's a few other sets. Let's see here. So this one appeared in Scandinavia, I want to say around the 160 AD, and it was great. These ones had a lot of great lines. And I don't know, see how they have a lot of straight lines, not a lot of curves? Now, the reasoning for this, believe it or not, was so it could be carved on the wood because they would have wood stones and they could carve on them. And that's how they would do these because, they didn't do cards back then. They did the stones. So that's how that one started. And I'm going to show you something in a minute here. The script later spread to England and ultimately became Latin alphabet with the rise of Christianity. I bet a lot of people didn't know that one. Okay. I have to plug in my computer. or I'm going to be shut off, and we don't want that. That would be all bad, right? There we go. There. Okay. The origin. Runes are believed to be derived from one of the old italic alphabets. They were used by people of the South Germanic tribes. And there we go. The earliest known inscription, such as the one on the Meldorf brooch, was around 50 CE. Those suggest an early form of runic writing. So there is that. The Futhark alphabet is called Futhark after the first 6 runes, and the oldest known version that contained 24 letters. So, hey Jimmy, how are you? Welcome in. Okay, so there is that. So it does, runes come from the Germanic European. They come from um way before, like I said, 50 BC. That's a long time ago. Okay. Now, I have a book because I don't have a whole bunch of books, but I've been using this one forever. And this is just a simple The Runes by Lisa Pichelle. If Pamela was here, Pamela Steele would know all the best books on that. But according to Lisa, let me find it. See, now I have all this written down. The first example of the runes to phonetically represent language appears to date around the 2nd century BCE. Before this time, the runes were primarily a magical system of pictograms. Pictograms, that's what I was trying to say. Pictograms, okay. There we go. Pictograms representing the forces and objects in nature. And so they come from a people that used them for language, used them for protection. You can take these runes and bind them together by drawing one rune on top of another rune and putting them on yourself for protection, for strength, for encouragement. You can write them on your door. Runes come from a lifetime ago of people that lived by a whole different set of rules than we do today, right? So I wanted to show you what I meant earlier. Here is I went to the Dollar Tree. Yeah, I made a lot of noise. Sorry. I went to the Dollar Tree, okay, and I got these little pieces of wood. And I don't have my paints handy, so I took a black marker and I took a pink marker and I created the M. Remember, I said every letter, every rune is a letter, okay? Not only does it have a divination meaning, it's a letter. So this is the letter M. Manaz. So let's look at Manaz. And this took me all of 2.5 minutes to create. And I did the M because my initials are Michelle Metheny. My maiden name is Montemurro. So 3 M's. My life path is a 3. My name, I want to say my full name is a 4. I can't remember all of a sudden. But my initials add up to a 3. And I've always loved that. I've always been an MMM. So, of course, the M is my favorite because it's Manaz, M. So, let's find Manaz because I want to show you guys a little bit about Nas and explain what it means. So, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. No Zoom today. Yeah, that's going to be on the third Saturday. Okay, so we have Manas, right? People, relationships. We've got the divine union. We've got manifestation and the letter M. So way back in those days, in the Germanic days, when people would write the letter M or this letter on them, let's say, and I'm just pulling this out of the air, okay, because that's how I rule. If I was me and I was interested in somebody, I would put an M, Manaz, right here. And then that way, as I am walking around in the area of the people I am with, I know nobody else has to know if you don't want them to, but I would know I'm searching for my soulmate. I'm searching for my people. I'm searching for my relationship. Um, I'm manifesting someone into my life. And that's just one example of what they could have done, right? I got this one fly. One fly. Okay. So they would also, again, bind these runes together and put them on their chariots before leaving. Um, draw them on their horses before going into battle because they have battles, right? There's fire, creative power, fire, Canas, right? So the Germanic, European, Nordic people lived very much by these runes, and they would write them on, like I said, they would write them on the wood and just toss them down. So they would, that's how you got me. No, I burned paper for you and some of your hair, and no, I'm kidding. um I won't give away all my dirty secrets. Oh, poor Dan. um but they would draw a circle in the sand, okay, with a piece of stick, and then they would toss some runes, but sometimes they would even be written, carved in bones. Now, I went to the dollar store looking for bones and I couldn't find any. So that was really sad, but that's okay. But they would draw them on even on bones and then toss the bones into that circle. The ones that were upright were the ones that they would read for the message from the universe. The ones that were not upright, they could be turned, they could be used, they could, you could work with that, but anything outside of that circle, couldn't touch, couldn't use. That was a no-no. So I do know that much about the Germanic, European, Nordic people. And I have so much to learn about them. This is just a tiny taste of what I know about where runes come from. Again, I am not an expert. I know there is this guy, Eric, and he's on YouTube and I follow him. Eric something. It starts with an A. And he is on Weird Wednesdays with Christiana Gaudet, and he is a rune master. I swear, he is amazing. I love watching him. So he's really good to watch. Pamela Steele is excellent with runes. I love Pamela Steele. I know I should have asked her for more help, but I've been busy, crazy days here. I'm looking at the time. Okay, we're doing fantastic. Okay, let's see here. Bones, the original runes. LOL. Yes, Viking runes did. Yes, exactly. They lived by these. This was not just, this was a language, this was a way of life for many, many of the Vikings. So this, what a lot of people don't see is that when you hold the runes in your hand, whether it is stones, whether it is cards, whether it comes out of your head, it was at one point someone's lifestyle, someone's world, someone's belief system. So what I do is when I play with my runes, which again, I'm not an expert, I will lay them out and I will imagine first, like, okay, I'm just going to take the three that I have. And we've got right ho, journey, wheel, the right path, and rhythm. Okay. The wheel. Why would they put this as the wheel? You think about why, because they're going on a journey. Well, where are they going? They were always moving. They were always going somewhere. And so if you put yourself in the time of the Vikings, you kind of get a sense of what they were feeling. So we're going on a journey, and then we got a was, okay? And this talks about relationships and partnerships. Do you want to take this journey alone? No, you need someone to go with you. But before you go, we have Fehu. So make sure you put your time and investment into this journey. Fix that wheel, invest in the wheel. So, first thing that stood out to me was wheel in this one. I don't know why, but I know that that was the first thing that stood out to me. So, fix your wheel, invest in your chariot before you take off on a journey, and trust in the mother rune. Trust in the divine goddess if you need to. Hold on to the wisdom. Mother is wisdom. So that is one way to read runes. Um, I know we went into reading runes a little bit on where runes come from, but that is how they worked the runes with reading them. Okay. And like I said, next week we'll do the basics, but this week we're just going to discuss this. I made this in particular deck because I figured there are a lot of individuals out there who need a beginner's rune deck. And I thought this would be helpful because it does have, so most letters only have one letter, but you're going to come across a few that have Kanaz. Kanaz has the C, the K, and the Q sound to it. So, there's a couple cards with a few different letters of the alphabet in there. And I like Ewas because it's Yee. No, it's Y and double E. But it gets really deep if you really let them. So here's one. The Tree of Life, Magic, Death, and Astral Travel. So the Tree of Life and Death are both on this card. And I love that because this to me represents the same as the death card in the tarot, because tarot is not just about death, it's about transformation. And that's what this says, because when you astral travel, you're transforming into a different spiritual side. So that is one thing. Have you ever tried doing a reading with the runes for someone? Is it difficult to learn? Um, it there's only 24. So it's like learning the major arcana. It it's not difficult, but it's not easy. I mean, it is and it isn't. It just depends. If you're willing to learn the 24 minor basic meanings and then go from there, then it can be pretty easy. I have done some readings using the runes. It's different. It's fun. And I will be, when we do readings, I will be using the runes along with the tarot. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of fun with that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat, because we're gonna get to the questions here pretty soon. Okay. Now, the difference between my two decks is that this deck is more feminine and pretty, and it has one meaning to it, whereas my other deck has between 3 and 4 meanings, and then it has the letter to it as well. So, and this is a bigger size. This is a lot bigger, which is fun. The rights of Odin. Okay. I'm gonna write that down. The rights of Odin. Order off Amazon book. Perfect. Thank you, Jimmy. I'm gonna check that out. I'll get that definitely. Thank you. I know Pamela mentioned one that I want to get as well. So hopefully I can check into that. And I know you came in just a few minutes late, Jimmy. So I'm going to go back for a second here. We had a tie between the Pagan Tarot and the Cozy Witch. Now, my Pagan Tarot is out in the other room, so I'm going to use that next time. But today, I'm going to go ahead and just be using my Cozy Witch Tarot along with the runes. Yes, yes, please. That would be great, Dax.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Dax.
Awesome show today. Everybody's loving it in the chat room.
Awesome. It's been fun.
Yeah, so just some quick announcements. First of all, join us tomorrow. We're going to be doing our Psychic Cafe Live, same channel, same time. And we're going to be talking about how to ask empowering questions of the tarot. And we've got a great PDF handout. Actually, we've got two. I found another one, and I'm going to share that with y'all. And we'll talk all about why you want to ask more empowering questions, not just the right, Michelle, the usual stuff. Will I ever get married? Am I having kids? Will I get that job? Right. Stuff like that. And like Michelle said, join us then next Saturday, September 20th, for her rune basics. And I need that one because, like, I have runes and so forth, but I never really got the basics and how to do it and everything like that. I love your rune cards, by the way. Really cool. You're muted though, Michelle. So I
Thank
couldn't hear
you.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Only
And
took me 3 days.
there you go. Those cards, you know, uh, just as an aside, I thought, you know what Michelle could do with that deck? You know how um, the fabulous tarot grandmaster Pamela Steele, who also does runes, and we've learned a lot from Pamela, and she does those combined runes. So
Yes.
you could add a whole another, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 cards to the deck, make it a fuller deck with these combined runes. Anyway, just food for thought.
I
Food
love
for
it.
thought. Yeah, yeah. And then so that was September 20th, Saturday. And then that Sunday, September 21st, we're going to be talking about how many readings are too many readings. When you're dealing with your clients and how to space things out, how to not, avoid how to avoid clients getting dependent on you and not doing a reading every other day and things like that. So we'll get in on into that on September 21st. That's a Sunday. And then of course Saturday, September 27th is Crown Chair Saturday. Bring your deck. Yay.
Woohoo.
And then also, if you're a member of the guild, you can join us on the Zoom call like Michelle and I are on now, and you'll be able to be on camera with us and talk with us. If you don't want to show your video, your camera, you don't have to. You can just do audio, and you can ask any questions you want. Join in on the crown share. I know who is it that always joins us for the crown share?
Linda.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
Linda with a
Linda.
Y, Lynda. Yeah, Linda always pops in and pulls cards. Yep. And then that Sunday, September 28th, it's the end of the month. And we're going to be talking about are shorter readings better with today's limited attention spans? Yes. And I've noticed that over the years, we used to do hour and a half readings all the time, 20, 30 years ago. But now, uh, 10, 15, 20-minute readings, sometimes even shorter, sometimes a little longer, 25, 30. But we figured that we can answer most things in just, 15, 20 minutes. And we'll talk about the advantages in that when you're doing it as a business, selling shorter readings and basically doing more volume, making it up on volume. Yep. So that's everything coming up on the network. Also wanted to mention right now I got a 20% off sale going on Tarot by the Numbers, my tarot and numerology course. Let me put that in the chat while I'm thinking about it here. And I always have trouble typing and talking at the same time, but it's psychic.cafe/tarot is the blog post where you can read all about this. And basically, what it is, you're going to get 20% off the regular cost of enrolling. And when you enroll, you get weekly live Zoom calls. That's what we were just talking about, where you can join us on these shows on the Zoom that the hosts are on. So your questions get priority. If you want a reading, again, you get priority. We'll spend more time with you, flesh out do a longer reading, 2 to 3 times what we normally do with questions in the chat. So everybody can join the guild. Just throwing that out there. You also get, of course, the self-paced, fully online course, live mentoring and coaching every week. Your professional certification is included. That's normally $138 per level. And then membership in the Tarot Guild is included, which is only the cost of a latte a month. It's $650 a month, $78 a year, but we're including it free with my course. Now, if you're already a member, or let's say you don't need a course, right? Professional certification, you can save now over 43% right now. So if you're already a member, we were just talking about how it's $138 per level. If you go over to the private group, I'm going to try to type this in the chat too. Psychic.cafe/guild members. Psychic.cafe/guild members. That'll take you over to the private group. So if you're a member, you have access to that group. And in there, I think it's the first post, you'll see this banner, save over 43%. It's $78 per level right now. So you're saving $60 off the regular cost to apply for certification. This is good on all levels. So if you're already a certified tarot reader, already a certified tarot professional or psychic advisor, beginning of the year, we started doing certifications for astrology, numerology, psychic mediums, spiritual coaches, angel practitioners, as well as tarot readers. So if you're already a CTR or CTP, certified tarot professional like Michelle is, you can apply for the next level up as well. But if you are not certified at all, you can apply. It's CTR, certified tarot reader, is the basic first level for tarot readers. And then if you're applying as a psychic advisor, psychic medium, spiritual coach, we'll put whatever you want on the certification certificate. You'll go through the same process, except with tarot, there's a short written exam. It's actually a quiz. It's really short, 22 questions, the master builder number and numerology. We just ask some quick questions, make sure you have a working knowledge of tarot. Then we do a test reading. Well, if you're applying as a numerologist, astrologer, you're applying as a spiritual coach or a psychic medium, psychic advisor, whatever the modality is, you don't have to take a written exam. We just do a live Zoom session, and whatever your modality is, you use that and do a session with us. And that's how we evaluate. So yeah, you can join the guild, $78 for the year. Certification, if you're already a member, is $78 right now, save $60. Or if you need a course and want to enroll, it's 20% off right now, and you get your professional certification and membership in the Tarot Guild, all included. Yep. That's right. That's right. So remember, join us tomorrow, how to ask empowering questions. And then next Saturday, rune basics.
Woohoo! Dax, I may have a new picture for you to put up. I don't know. Did you see the new
Oh,
picture?
cool.
Did you see the
No,
new picture I put up yet?
where'd you put it? Instagram, Facebook, the Psychic Cafe website. You got to be specific.
Facebook and YouTube and TikTok for sure. I don't know if I've made it to the Psychic Cafe yet.
Let's see. Well, if I try to look you up, whoops, on where are you? I'll look you up on Instagram here.
I'm in Nevada.
Yeah. So I see. I see a lot of cool pictures, but I don't
It's
see
the
the
new, it's the profile picture.
oh, the profile picture on Instagram. That's the new one you're using.
I like it.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah, good job.
I had Dan take it. I had my get up on. I love it.
Awesome sauce. Who is it? Oh, Dan said I need to do the next level.
Yeah, him and I both. Okay. So when I was going through Nilda, yeah, right. He did a really good job. He took quite a few pictures, but I think that was my favorite one. So that's why I chose that one. So Nilda had a question, and it was a pretty basic question. She just wanted a general reading. And I pulled some cards out of the rune deck, but I also pulled some cards out of my tarot deck. And it's just so amazing because I got Hagelas, which talks about transformation. Okay. And I also got Ingus, which talks about seed. Okay. I like the seed because, and fertility, but we're not talking about fertility. We're talking about seed. Okay. So we've got new beginnings, transformation, and seed. Keep that in mind. Then I got the Three of Swords and the King of Pentacles. The Three of Swords, it's okay to cry. And with the King of Pentacles, true success is not just about money, right? It's about happiness too. Okay. So it is time for you to transform into a whole new beginning, a whole new person. And you have to stop worrying about finances because I feel like that is what's really holding you back from starting a new beginning is the finances, because that's not where your happiness lies. Okay. And then the next last card that I had drawn is Answers. Answers, and I'm probably saying all these names wrong. I'm so sorry. Answers is about divinity and it's about your ancestors. So there is something going on that you need to heal from with your ancestral background. Maybe you have a childhood trauma that you need to heal. Maybe do a little bit of shadow work so that you can move forward in your life and let go of some sadness that you didn't even know you had. And I know some people are going, I don't even know what shadow work is. Let me show you something. My husband picked this up off of Temu for me. There you go. It's like $4. And it'll help you to be able to bring some even unknown trauma up that you can totally heal from. Okay. So here is this. It's called the Shadow Workbook. And there is stuff on YouTube that'll help you with shadow work. And it's just all about healing. So don't worry about the finances. Worry about healing something inside of you so that you can start over and be walking in the divinity that you hold inside of yourself. So that's what I have for you, Miss Nilda. Let's see. Let's look for some feedback here. Oh, yes, Michelle, true. The energy has been crazy around me. Right? It happens. It does happen. You know, sometimes what you need to do is take a ritual bath. And you can look that up on YouTube. You can just look it up on the internet. Just take a ritual bath, find all the different ways to do it, and it'll help you to control the energy even inside of yourself. because that can be a big thing. Because when your energy is out there all dizzy and confused, it'll attract that energy around you. Okay, general reading for Jimmy. Shuffle my cards back in here. Yes, yes, it really does. That full moon can be a challenge at times. That's why I like full moon rituals, even though I don't do them enough. Because when you do the full moon rituals, you can get balance during that time. And even if you do it yourself. Okay, reading for Jimmy. Okay, so we've got ancestors, and divinity. Isa, and Manaz. Okay. Thank you, Nilda. I appreciate you. So here's what we're going to say for Jimmy. Oh, that card got left behind. Ooh, good card. Okay, so Jimmy, it is time to let go of some ego and sit in the stillness of divinity because you need to manifest something. But you can't manifest it until you let go of your own ego and let divinity come in and take over for a little bit. So when it comes to meditation, what a lot of people do when it comes to meditation is they hit that happy place where they feel the meditation and they're in that perfect zone, and then they start to bring themselves back out. So what you need to do to get to that spot, so we've got the Hierophant and we've got the Sun. Tradition is important, but it doesn't have to be everything. And that's really important for what I'm about to say about meditation. And then the Sun, give yourself to permission to experience joy, which is another aspect of what I'm about to tell you about meditation. Okay. When you meditate, once you hit that happy spot where you're just like, ah, and you're feeling it, you're smelling it, you're tasting it, let your mind continue until there are no more thoughts. You want to reach consciousness, you want to reach that higher self. You sit in silence. You don't worry about music. You don't worry about your thoughts. You don't worry about words. You sit in silence because that's where you're going to get the knowledge, the information, the visions. That's where you're going to get your conscious and your subconscious to come together, is in the silence of your own meditation. So there's just that piece of mind that is going to let you come out of that meditation knowing you have hit that sunspot. And then you'll be able to let go of that ego and walk in the manifestation of what it is you are trying to bring out. Okay, and that's what I have for you, my friend. Oh, whatever. You're so funny, Dan. Yes, sitting in the power. Sitting in the power is a really good meditation because it teaches you how to Learn your own energy, which is really important these days. Because if you don't know your own energy, how are you going to know the other energies around you? You might feel an energy and it could be your own energy and you don't know. And if you don't know your own energy, you're not going to know when it's off or when it's not right or when it's feeling a little crooked or a little sick, you know? So do some sitting in the powers. Yeah, overthinking and a lot of anxiety can do it. I think I need to do some sitting in the power. I think that was for me as well as it was for you, Jimmy. All right. Well, I think I have answered everybody's question. Um, Dan says one version of shadow work is dealing with spirits that hide in the shadows, fearing moving to the next level or realizing that the body has passed. And shadow work is also self-reflection. It is a lot of self-reflection. And self-reflection can be really hard. And that's why some shadow work is just as simple as writing in your journal when you're angry and then starting to, but the hard part is remembering when you're angry, starting to write down, why am I angry? Okay, why am I really angry? Okay, what made me angry? Okay, now that I know what made me angry, was it really their fault? Was it my fault? And you can really break that down. And again, that's another form of shadow work because you're breaking down your own anger issues. So I hope that is helpful for everybody out there. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody for being here. I hope to see everybody tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. We will be asking about, let's see, I just saw it, empowering questions. Oh my goodness. See? Oh, here's the picture on Facebook. Yay! Awesome. Thank you guys again, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.